Afternoon, Michael.
How are you, Edward?
I'm good.
Me too. I'm good too, man. Good too. Sun is shining.
Yep. Spring is definitely sprung. Might be sliding into summer.
Yeah.
Any day here.
Here in Atlanta, we get spring for 6 days-ish.
And then it's just oppressively hot.
Yep. It's nice. I do enjoy these 6 days. We can have our patio open. We can use all the space that we have, and we don't get rained on. We don't get cold, and we don't melt. So
Yeah.
great 6 days. Great 6 days, baby.
Yep.
What have you been up to in the last week? It's been 2 weeks now. What's been going on?
Lots of sports for me. Not so much playing. Oh, no, it's true. Won a golf tournament last week.
We did. We won.
You were a manager.
Indeed. Put the team together.
Steered us in the right direction.
Absolutely. And we used one of my shots, the bazooka shot. When we got to shoot the golf ball out of the bazooka, I went last. So 4 guys shot, and he said, all right, aim it that way. And then we played that shot. I contributed on the course and in the general office there, right?
Yep. Other than that, I've just been watching lots of kids play sports.
Yes. So congratulations are due to the Jackman.
That's right. Jackman, appointed. Is that the right word?
Chosen. Elected. Not elected.
Chosen.
Elected by the coaches. Yes, elected by the coaches.
The All-Star A-Team, which he's very excited about.
That's it. And the 8 and under All-Star baseball team.
NYO. Rec League. Yeah, he's excited. So now we have another 6 weeks of solid, basically everyday baseball.
That's if they lose. They win, you get a whole summer full of it.
Ongoing. Yeah. But no, it's that's that.
I like
yourself, Mike.
I like Jack's chances this summer, as long as the coaches at Smyrna Little League make a huge mistake and leave Vivint off their team. But if they do what's right and pick the best players, we could see Jack Cunliffe, Vivian Palumba in the Little League World Series. How badass would that be?
Yeah, I don't think there is a World Series at this age.
We'd make it the World Series. Because it's fucking America.
Oh, okay.
And that's what we do.
Make up a word.
Yeah, and they'd be the 8-year-old world champions of Atlanta metro area.
Yeah, there we go. Good.
Because they're the best 8-year-olds in the world in Atlanta.
All right. So today we're going to talk about a topic that I don't think people necessarily think about. I think it's a topic that everyone's pretty familiar with.
It's an institution.
Everyone probably listening to this has been through the system.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna dissect it a little bit and talk about school.
Okay, school.
So some interesting stats. Well, first of all, let's ask the question: why? I think elementary, middle, high school. I think you probably got to do that, right? Just to learn the basics about life. But I actually think maybe that should say college.
Okay.
So some interesting stats here in the United States of America. As of today, end of May 2022, the college debt right now is $1.75 trillion. Owed. Average person owes about $41,000 in college debt.
The average college graduate owes $41,000.
That is the average.
Wow.
33% of people that have college debt are late on their debt, late on their payments. So I'm sure they're getting
so a third of the
1.75. Yeah, so 600 billion is late, right? And then you got to ask yourself, all right, what's it all for? Some other interesting stats: 76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. About 60% of Americans have less than $1,000 in the bank, and about 40% of Americans have less than $400 in the bank. So I don't really know what this all means, but to me it seems jacked up.
What percentage of adults are college graduates?
I don't know that, but I can find out. Let's find out.
That's the Google machine, because I think that's interesting also. Let's figure that out.
Well, here's what we do know, is that from what I can tell, all the billionaires, the most successful people that I know of, dropped out of college or didn't go in the first place. But what's also interesting is most of them are now funding the colleges because it's a good investment.
It's good business.
Yeah, it's kind of a no-lose situation. What percentage of Americans have a college degree? Do we want that one?
Yeah, I guess it'll be generally the same number.
37.5%.
37.5% of the population responsible for $1.75 trillion in debt.
So it begs the question.
There's also people who didn't graduate who have college debt.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. Probably.
What a zinger that is.
So, I went to college.
I did
went
too.
to college.
Indeed. Not billionaires.
No. Not yet. I had a hell of a good time. I played a lot of golf. Did a lot of partying.
Yep. I did the same, minus the golf part.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now luckily I got a scholarship, so I did not leave with any debt, but I would have done if that hadn't happened. So that's interesting. They think I'm more important because I could hit a golf ball than some, anyway. I don't know if I use anything that I learned in any of my classes today.
So I graduated with $200 in college debt. It was the bar tab from graduation night.
Oh boy.
Yep. I worked full time as I was going to school because after my freshman year, I lost my scholarship. I had scholarships for having good grades. Then you don't have good grades, they take those away, which I learned after my freshman year. And so I worked and went to school, graduated with $200 in debt. Now, when we went, it was a different world. My younger sister also worked through college, same school I went to, same major, all the same, 7 years difference. And she graduated with a bunch of debt because the world started to shift somewhere between 2002 and 2009, right? So I wonder how much of that debt has been built up recently.
I would think, yeah, a lot of it. Well, and that's, usually when people are making a purchase, they have some logic to it, right? They're like, all right, I'm going to comparing this car to this car. This car's $8,000 more, but it has electric windows, the sunroof, the leather seats, whatever, right? And you go, Whereas with college, it's pretty hard to wrap your head around, like, if you actually broke it down, like, why is this worth $58,000 a year? If you did how is it worth it?
So good. So you said that word should say college. No, I think it should say school because it is about all of the conditioning that leads up to that decision, right? So just think about when you were a little kid, probably pre-middle school. What was the messaging you got from your parents, your teachers? It was, when you grow up, you could be anything you want. You could play for the Mets. You can play for the good soccer team or cricket team, whatever. You can be an astronaut. You can be president. I guess anyone can be president still, but that's been demonstrated. But it was the world is yours. You can be whatever you want, right? Then somewhere around middle school, the programming starts. It starts in the schools. It starts with the messaging from your parents. I remember about middle school, my dad was saying you should be a dentist when you grow up. You know, what about the astronaut thing? Like, that sounded fucking cool. You know?
No, it's way more fun to tug on people's plaque.
Yeah, and then you've got your guidance counselors. They make you take the. I remember 7th grade. Imagine this, right? If I would have followed what they told me in 7th grade,
exotic dancer.
What should you be when you grow up? Nope. That was number 3. Police officer. You imagine me as a police officer?
Kind of, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. You would just be like a dick to people, probably.
Did I tell you by the time I had a suspended license for a year and a half and didn't know it?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. So, I don't know if I would have been a good police officer. Anyway.
No,
but
law-abiding one.
But the messaging changes, right? And you still got these middle school brains that are developing, but now all of the messaging is you go to college and you get your degree, and then maybe you go to extra college, and then you get a good job with a big company, a good stable job with a big company, and you get your benefits, right? That then plants those seeds, and if that starts at 6th, 7th, 8th grade, goes on for 4 or 5 years, sometimes the kid's a junior, senior in high school, the only thing that they know to do next is so it's how much money? Okay, they don't know what money is. Like, fuck, like if I had $20 in high school, I was like, oh great, I could get a full tank of gas in the Geo, and I could go get a cigar because I'm 18. Like, like they don't have any concept of what $40,000 a year even means. Right, so average grad owes $41,000. I wonder what the average grad makes.
Well, the average, this isn't college grads. This is average W-2 Americans across the board, $55,000 a year. That's before tax.
Okay, so maybe the college grad then makes 60. Well, you give let's say they make 7.
I don't think an entry level or a recent grad. I bet. Let's see, recent.
Yeah, average recent college grad salary.
Recent college graduate salary. Look at old Google. 55,000.
55,000. All right. So, all right. So let's say I am.
That's as of 2022.
Which is now. Let's say I'm really good at saving money, and I'm making $55,000 a year. Really good at saving money. How much of that do you think I could save?
Well, you do the math. Okay, so depending on what state you're in, there's, 5 or 6 states where you get some nice tax breaks, and then there's also some other states where you get absolutely killed. New York, California, whatever. But we could probably safely say that you're going to be paying 25% of that to the tax man right off the rip.
Right off the bat. All right, so let's get the old trusty calculator. It's a good thing we took all those math classes where we had to learn how to do all this shit, because when you grow up, you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket all the time.
So we're down to about 40,000 right off the rip, so I would imagine.
55,000 times 0.75. So 41,250. So I got 41,250 bucks after I've paid my taxes, which come out of my paycheck automatically. I don't even see that money. Nope. It's invisible to me. I don't pay it. It gets taken. Okay.
I was actually watching this interview with Shaq. He got a $1 million signing bonus when he was 18 years old. And he was like, all right, I got $1 million. He spent $1 million in one day. He bought... anyway, what's funny is he... went to what school did he go to?
LSU.
He went to LSU? That's right.
He was probably taking a pay cut because they probably paid him more at LSU.
But anyway, he's like, as athletes, we're always taught, like, be careful, people are going to try and take your money. And he said once he got, like, the paperwork on that, he's like, who's FICO? But anyway, not that relevant. But $41,000.
$41,250.
I think it's easier if you break it up per week. So what does that leave you with?
Divided by 52 weeks, $793 after tax per week.
Per week, got it.
$793 per week. Well, we can use that $41,250 because you got to pay rent.
Sure.
Right.
Oh, we'll keep it monthly then.
Yeah. So rent in Atlanta now. A decent place, $2,500. A place that's livable, $1,600. You got a roommate, it's at least $800 if you split it 50-50. But let's say rent is $1,000.
I think that would be generous, but let's do it.
Generous on the low end, you think?
Yeah, generous on the low end.
All right, well, let's say it's $1,000. So we got $41,250 minus $12,000 because that's your rent for the year. So now we're at $29,250. So I've paid my taxes, so I won't go to jail. I have a place to live, 29 grand left over.
Yep.
Okay.
Now you can kind of go through Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So we got
shelter
and
avoidance of jail.
Okay. Food.
So food. How much money you spend on food a month? If you're
how much do I spend?
Well, it depends on the month.
Yeah.
$100 a week is that?
I think most people spend more than that. I would think.
Yeah, but fresh out of college though, you're not eating all that much if you're doing it right.
150.
So minimum. 150 a week on food.
Yeah.
Okay, so 150 a week times 52 weeks. So that's $7,800 on food.
Yeah.
I'm doing some math that I learned in school right now.
Here you go.
So now we're at $21,450.
Okay.
So I've eaten.
Are we good? Or are we going to sit in our apartment
sheltered.
all day, every day?
Oh, yeah, probably going to have to go someplace. We don't live in an Italian village where I could just walk down to the corner and grab some oranges, right? You got to be able to get around.
Transportation.
Okay. What's a fair car payment these days?
Well, I don't know, but you got the public option. You know, if you're here in Atlanta, you can ride the bus.
I spent $40,000 a year on college so I could ride the fucking MARTA.
Yeah, you probably don't want to.
Don't want no.
You got. Yeah, so you either have your own car.
You got a car payment. So what's a car payment? Baker, you just got a new car. What's a fair number?
About $350 would be a fair.
$350 a month times 12 months, $4,200 on a car payment. So 21,450 minus 4,200. We're down now to 17,250. So we've got shelter, food, no jail, transportation.
Well, we don't have transportation.
Yeah, it's a car payment.
Fuel.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Gas is
gas.
$4.73 a gallon average across the board right now, which is crazy. So, what do we think?
Fill up once a week, 20-gallon tank, 24.
$90.
Yeah, $80.
$95. Right.
So say, not everyone drives as much as we do.
No.
So say $80.
Okay.
A week times 52 weeks. That's another 4,160.
All right. Then you got insurance.
Oh yeah, you need that. That's another one of those avoid jail things, right?
Probably.
So we're at $1,390 before. I need a new post-it note. $1,390 before insurance. This is car insurance, just to keep you legal to drive on the street.
Yeah.
Car insurance. Baker, you get a new car. What's the insurance on your new car?
About 120, I think.
120. So let's say an old car would be a Hyundai. So 5,200.
It's not a week though, is it?
No, it's a month. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Yep, you're right. So 1,200. Okay, so we're at 13,090 minus 1,200. So we're now at 11,890.
Health insurance.
We have no health insurance.
Nah,
they don't have health. You got to sacrifice because you got to pay these fucking loans back. All right. So no health insurance. Right. Maybe their $55,000 a year job gives them health insurance. Maybe. Let's just assume so. We'll hope so. Okay. So we're at 11,890. We've eaten.
Yeah. What about communication?
Cell phone. Yep. Yep. I like where your head's at.
I've been in some rough neighborhoods where literally the roof is fallen in on itself, but everybody has a smartphone. You gotta have a smartphone, no matter what.
Yep. So $60 if you get a good deal.
Sure.
All right. So 60 a month times 12 months, $720. We're at $11,170. We have not had a drink yet.
Not had any fun.
Haven't gone to the movies.
Depends on what you're looking at on your phone, I suppose. But
yeah, you haven't even bought a book yet, for Christ's sake. 11,001. So if that's it. Like I am the best saver ever. I stick to all of those numbers. I do nothing else. I get $11,170. We're missing out on some
necessities here as well, by the way.
Clothing, furniture, shit like that. Yeah. So I wear all the same shit I wore in college that mom and dad bought me.
Yeah.
I get hand-me-down furniture from mom and dad. I stick to this budget. I have $11,170 left over to pay my student loan debt. That'll take me 4 years.
Yep.
On average.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen. So the average person
No, it doesn't fucking happen.
adds about $7,000 of debt to their credit card every year. So we already know that the average person lives beyond their means. You know, the guy who makes $100,000 a year drives around in a $70,000 car, which doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right? And so the question is, are you playing a game that you can't win? Because evidently, you know, the numbers would suggest a lot of people are.
Yeah.
It's impossible to win.
So what's the end game here? I've thought about that a lot. You know, we've got millions and millions and millions, probably 100 million Americans that are playing that game. Like, what
200 million.
What happens? What happens?
Well, you could hope that the government bails you out.
Mm-hmm.
Except I think they're 23 trillion in debt.
So they operate the same way. They went to the same school.
Yep. What do? A few things. You got to figure out how to make more money. Well, let's backtrack. I think, knowing what I know now, that there is probably 5% of people that went to college that actually needed to go to college, right? Specific degree.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
You know, you want to be a doctor, you got to go that route.
Yes.
And then some. You want to be an engineer, probably the same thing. But
Well,
again, something we talked about.
Engineers, read this morning, Facebook is putting a hiring freeze, Meta, sorry, putting a hiring freeze across their engineering units right now. Right. So an engineering degree costs way more than the one I got.
So anyway, yeah, so I know we mentioned this before, but if I go to University of Missouri to do Spanish, and it costs me...
If you go to University of Missouri to do anything, you're screwing up.
I was just making up...
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, sorry.
You know, that's what I'm doing, right? Why am I going? Oh, because I want to get really good at Spanish, right? Why are you doing that? Oh, because it will make me more successful in my job when I understand Spanish. Well, I get all of that. Would it be more effective to go live in Spain for a year or 2 or 4, right? Not go to school, just live there, be around the culture, learn the language, get a job as a barista, learn the lingo, live the life, right? And make money while you're doing it. Who would be better at Spanish after the 4 years and an understanding of the game?
Yeah, clearly
Spanish.
the person who dove in rather than tested the water.
All right. If I want to get really good in business, a good foundation to understand business, certainly one of the routes is sales. So would somebody be further along getting a sales job at 18, 19, learning a lot, making money, and by the time they're 22, 23, have 3 or 4 years of experience under their belt, making more money with more confidence? Or is that college grad coming out, if they're anything like me, not knowing their ass from their elbow, to go then get the entry level sales? Like, I don't know.
So
I don't know the answers. I'm just bringing up the questions.
Let's go back to the institution, right? I remember, and I see it now, my son is 5th grade. He's about ready to go to middle school, right? And all the messaging to him as a 5th grader is, we're preparing you for middle school. We're preparing you for middle school. I remember hearing the same thing. And then I got to middle school. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Holy cow, that girl has boobs. Holy cow, right? Like, you know, different world. Totally unprepared, right? I also remember in 8th grade, the messaging, we're preparing you for high school. We're preparing you for high school. And then you get to high school and now they're smoking cigarettes out by the dumpster. What is not prepared at all, right? Junior, senior year of high school, we're preparing you for college. You get to college, there's Biggie, and it's off the rails, right? And then in college, we're preparing you for the real world. Then you get to the real world with all this conditioning and messaging, and you are massively ill-prepared and in massive debt when it now comes to attacking the real world. It's a broken system across the board.
It is.
And the system ain't going to tell you it's broken.
No, the system is self-serving, my friend.
Yes. And it says school. It could say what you don't learn in school that you're going to need in the world, right? Yeah.
Yeah. What you know, what you don't know, what you think you know that's incorrect. These are all factors that lead to our decision making.
Yeah.
You like that?
So you just made that up off the top of your head. I saw the smoke.
Well, there's certain things that I thought I knew that I did know, but that were wrong. Lots of things I didn't know, and some things I did know that were accurate. But all put together, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Like, I think you got to question the system. You know what's interesting to me as well? And this is a fact. The majority of like these hedge fund guys in New York who have their house, they have their place in Manhattan, they have their place up at the Hamptons, they have their place out in Connecticut. Right? They pay less taxes than the average working Joe here in the US. Like, fact. Right? Maybe we should learn that stuff in school.
Yeah.
How tax, it's not evasion, they do it legally.
Yeah.
It's how do you reduce your tax? This is how you do it. You have a depreciating commodity, whether it's they own buildings and yada 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 yada.
Buy some movie credits.
There we go.
Yep. Yep.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, the game is not that complicated.
If you know the rules.
If you and I 200 million plus people don't know the game.
So what's the advice then? Because I think if I were to articulate, I know what I would say. You ain't gonna fix the system. So what's the advice for someone coming up right now?
I think your ability to earn income is always going to be the biggest factor, right? So I would focus on getting really good at that. How do you get really good at that? I think you got to find something that you have an interest in, that you like. I think finding a mentor that's been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, that's made the mistakes, can help you shave off a lot of time, getting from A to B. And I think really what it boils down to is listening, learning, having the desire to want to not only play the game, but win at the game. Yeah. That's what I would say. Don't just go with what everybody else is doing. Yeah. If you put yourself around successful people, they're very happy to tell you, hey, I wasted a lot of time, I made a lot of mistakes. Don't do A, B, and C. You should do D, E, and F.
Yep. Successful people come from a place of abundance, not a place of scarcity, which is why they're more than happy to share, right? And I think what I would say, you have to do something that allows you first and foremost to take care of yourself, because no one else is going to take care of you. You have to be able to take care of yourself, and then you have to be able to take care of the people you love that you are responsible for. And what are you doing right now? If you can check those boxes, okay. But if not, you can't rely on anyone else to take care. No one gives a shit. You got to take care of you. Yeah. You and the ones who are important to you.
Yeah.
That's how the decision making has to evolve, and you have to be aware and cognizant of those moments in life where, is this the right thing? Am I doing this because I've been programmed to do it and it's what's expected of me from others, or is this what is the best thing to do to take care of me?
I have another opinion which I learned somewhat recently. What should people do? I think everyone should take a moment to take stock of their situation. Like, everyone knows their situation. Not the situation that people think you're in, not that the situation that social media would suggest you're in, right? Really the situation you're in, right? And you're going to ask yourself this: does my reality equal my potential? And if your reality does not equal your potential, the great thing about being in the United States of America is there's plenty of opportunity. And if you want to, get closer to your potential, you absolutely can. Whether it's more education, which I don't think you need to get at school necessarily, whether it's working harder, whether it's finding a different opportunity. But, in this day and age, I mean, you could probably learn how to be a mechanic by watching YouTube.
We just learned everything we just covered as we were covering it.
Right. There is more, I forget what it is. There's like 100,000 times more information available to the average person today than Bill Clinton had available to him as the president back in whenever he was
1996.
Yeah, more as well. Come a long way.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I think that's a good way to look at where you're at. My reality, does it equal my potential? And if it does, awesome. That means you're crushing.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then you got to take a look at, all right, what else could I be doing here?
Yep. I love it.
So, having said all of that,
I tell you, it's valuable, Edward, and it's only valuable
because it's true. Cheers, Michael.
Salud.
Salute.